Before I start saying anything about this particular topic, that how you find your niche in the first generation lawyer, I always believe that there is nothing what you call first generation lawyer. But the thing is that it's all about we thinking that we are a first generation lawyer. So assuming it's a first generation lawyer. Now, how you became a first generation lawyer? That itself is a very big process. And what happens after you become a first generation lawyer? How actually you tackle it. So before I start saying anything that how you find your niche, well, even I have seen, because when I did my law, even I had many queries, what we used to do, what should I do. So let me say something about me when I was doing my law, and what was that practical problem it came to me. And I'm pretty much sure that whatever problem I will be discussing about myself, it is somewhere I think you might have also been done that. So, when I completed my BCom, one thing was very clear that I'm doing my law. So there was no plus and minus. I was doing my law. It was all about me doing before doing some other studies or after. But then I decided that I will do my BCom and LLB. Now, the biggest point which I was thinking when I was in my first year of law is आगे क्या करना है. मैंने law तो कर लिया, now what to do after law. So when I asked this particular query to definitely to my parents, they told me कि बेटा पहले पढ़ तो ले, 3 साल बाद में देख लेंगे. Well, they are right, because as such I am a first generation lawyer, right? So they said कि एक काम कर ले, तू पहले पढ़ ले, we will see what to do later on. It was the completion of my 2 months of my first year law, 2 months. And I think it was the fourth month where I just went with my father to meet his friend, Mohan Nair. He's an advocate. I just went to meet him, and what attracted me is the way he was working, and I told my papa कि काम करता हूँ, मैं यहाँ पे बैठ जाता हूँ, कुछ करना तो है नहीं. बट माय फादर सेड मी कि पक्का तू कर लेगा ना. आई मीन टू से जस्ट सी, नहीं तो तू बिजनेस देख ले अपना. मैं बोला कर लेता हूँ. So this is where I started my working in a law firm. So by the time I completed my 3 years of law, and by the time I completed, it was almost my 3 years where I was doing my internship. So by the time I completed my law, my two questions which I had when I joined the law कि मैं क्या करूँगा और क्या कर सकता हूँ, it all disappeared actually. Because by that time I got to know, wow, there are so many options in law, and how to do, what to do, that actually made that, that gave me a lot of opportunities to think. So by the time, like today is my 18th or 19th year, I can tell you very, clearly that let's forget me naming as a first generation lawyer. That itself is not a good word, because there is nothing what you call first generation lawyer or first generation judge or first generation actor or entrepreneur. It's all about how you start from particular day. So just make it that you have prepared that you want to do a law. Now, out of 10 cases, I have seen that 10 में से there are 5 who wants to do the law. There are 3 who are just thinking करना क्या है, but they join the law. और 2 ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो लॉ करने के लिए कर लेते हैं because they are sure they don't want to practice as a law. But I have seen it goes reverse mechanism. The people who don't think that they will do in law, they actually become a good lawyer. जो वो 3 है जो ये सोचते कि आगे देखेंगे क्या करना है, they become a good lawyer. पर जो ये 5 लोग होते हैं ना, उसमें से I have seen that 60 to 70% they do some other business, and बाकी के they do the law, they do the job, right? Now let's come to that particular fact, that what you will do as a first generation lawyer. I think exams अभी भी हुए हैं, and there are many who, I'm pretty much sure all of them will clear. Exams का percentage I don't prefer as such. It's all about your year should not be wasted. Now the biggest question which I am seeing in this for 2 weeks, what I have seen from colleges and schools, what the kids are telling me and what they are saying is that कि हमें internship करना है, हम internship अभी करना चाहते हैं. और some of them they came to me saying that कि क्या करना चाहिए आगे as a lawyer. Well, see, first of all, it's all about your individual preference. Why you did the law, what made you to do the law, what you think, what you can do with law. So that else, like there are many combinations. Like suppose if you do the law, you can also do your CS or CA, whatever you want to do. Some of them might be doing MBA, some of them might be doing journalism. So law as such is a brilliant degree, no doubt about it. So you deciding maybe on the last year when you cleared the law or the exam you gave, now what to do. Now first thing which I always believe, आप आराम से बैठ जाइए and just ask yourself now what to do as a lawyer. Should I practice as a lawyer? मुझे आगे करना क्या? Because once you decide what you want to do after a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, now this is where you need to understand and then count this particular years or 3 years to make your fourth year count what you will be doing. Now, एक बार आपने ये decide कर लिया what you want to do, then you work on that aspect to complete and use your these 2-3 years so that your fourth year will become more relevant. Now, I am just assuming because today I just need to speak to first generation lawyer कि आपको क्या करना चाहिए, how you can practice, how you can become an expertise, how you can have your own office. I am assuming I just got to know कि many of them want to know कि मैं अपना ऑफिस कैसे बनाऊं, how to grow clientele, how to be the part of the law society. तो सबसे पहले तो I can just say that जो वक्त चला गया है वो चला गया है, बट जो नहीं गया है टुडे, सपोज देयर आर सम लॉयर्स हु आर अ स्टूडेंट आल्सो एंड दे आर इन फर्स्ट ईयर और सेकंड ईयर, आई विल प्रेफर यू स्टार्ट इंटर्नशिप. ओके, जैसे मैंने इंटर्नशिप बोला है, द क्वेरी माइट बी कमिंग इज इंटर्नशिप दे कौन रहा है, एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गेटिंग टू हियर, इंटर्नशिप नहीं मिल रहा है, कहाँ जाना है, कैसे जाना है, बिकॉज आई एम प्रीटी मश्योर कि बहुत सारे लोगों का कोई कॉन्टेक्ट नहीं होता है. Just because they are first generation lawyer, it gives an impression that they are not aware कि वो कहाँ जाएंगे, how to contact them, कैसे करना है. Well, ठीक है, that's okay. I mean to say, if you don't know anything, right now we are in social life, social media life, where everyone knows क्या हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है. First, हो सके तो even अगर आपको internship नहीं मिल रहा है, okay, you tried your best, luck will come to you, you just tried your. But before you even join intern or do anything, I'm not saying you score 95%. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is understand the law very carefully. Now, this is I'm talking about the law student who have not cleared the law as of now. कि हो सके तो just understand what the law is. Be in touch with your current awareness of what is going in the market. What is the difference between a lawyer and a journalism? Journalism, they report what is coming, कि क्या होने वाला है. But we as a lawyer, we should be aware कि what is about to come and how to safeguard and how to use that in your particular cases or for your clients and everything. So, if you ask me today that what is the similarity between a lawyer and a journalism, I will prefer lawyer on a one step ahead of journalism, because journalism, they only report. But as a lawyer, reporting is not considered as important thing. What I will do, I am aware of the current awareness, okay, and then I know what to do. And now I have read and I've understood, and now I am ready. Suppose if a situation comes to me, what to do and not to do. So this is the first thing you need to do as a law student. Trust me, if this particular aspect of yours is very good, internship will come. Just to unquote this particular part, how to get an internship. See, I'm not saying go for a reference and everything. What I understand is many of them, they send an emails to the law firms, but they don't reply, right? Forget about it. Even if they don't reply, then I will prefer, rather than going to very big law firms and trying your internships, at least you start your internships from a small law firm. Understand what the law is. Just understand. You don't have to go to the deep root of the law. Understand. Start your internship with an intention that you just want to sit in an office for 15 days of a lawyer and just want to know how that particular law functions. आप उतना तो समझ लो. You have good time. I will prefer you use your 3 years if you're a law student as an internship. Okay? Just understand how the law functions. Just go to the court and see how the judge functions, how the judge reacts or act on a particular case, what a lawyer does, what a lawyer doesn't do. Don't get into that particular aspect कि मुझे client कैसे लाना है, अरे ये मेरे से नहीं होगा, अरे ये कैसे होने वाला है, अरे ना ये सब होता नहीं, अरे यहाँ पे बहुत सारा corruption है, ये सब. Forget about it. As a law student, just go and see what is going on. As a lawyer, वो office कैसे चला रहा है, how the court functions, paper क्या होता है, what are the various terminology used in the courts. ठीक है? I'm just saying you that whatever you do in your life, आपको बिजनेस करना है बिजनेस करो, आप एमबीए करके जॉब करना है जॉब करो, आपको कोई कंपनी में कॉर्पोरेट जॉब मिल रहा है वो भी कर लो आप. इवन इफ यू आर एज एन एम्प्लॉय यू आर इन अ लॉ फॉर्म, वो भी कर लो आप. इवन यू प्रीफर अ गवर्नमेंट लॉ जॉब, वो कर लो आप. इवन यू प्रीफर बिकमिंग अ काउंसिल, वो भी कर लो आप. डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट. But for God's sake, 3 years of your law shall be in court practice. I don't know why I have seen many of the law students or who complete the law that they, rather than going to the court, they prefer doing documentation. See, I am not saying it is bad or wrong. I'm not saying that, because end of the day, it's all about your happiness and your view how the things are as a successful person. But you having a court experience of at least minimum 3 years will settle down your mind, because then you are aware what exactly you are doing, what exactly your client wants from you, what exactly you will give as a result. अगर if you really not aware how the court works, court का terminology क्या है, what exactly you mean by exhibits and everything, and then suddenly after 3 years, you don't have any idea, you will land into a very difficult situation where you will say कि काश मैं पहले कर लेता, right? So even if you have not done the internship, now you are completing your law, बहुत सारे लोगों ने एग्जाम्स भी दिया है, start internship. अगर okay, now this is the aspect which I will be detailing, that most of the issues are financial part. You're not being paid as an intern, you're not being paid even a minimum basic fare, you're not being paid even after you become a lawyer. See, if you ask me, it has plus and minus, right? Now you think from that perspective कि कोई अगर business खड़ा करता है, what they want someone who is useful to their business, right? तो useful कैसे होगा, ये personal perspective है. There is nothing measurement कि यही होता है यही होता है. I have seen that many of the internships, when they do the intern, they give more importance to the pay amount. See, I'm not saying that it should not be paid. It should be paid. But you only concentrating on getting the payment will not yield your result, because today what you will get 5,000, I don't know. I understand every individual has their own financial issues. I agree to it. But वो कहते हैं unless and until you invest in yourself, you will not get anything in return, right? So हो सके तो try going to the law firm जहाँ की you are getting paid. But assuming also you are not getting paid, but if you are able to learn, go for it. Prove your as an internship as an asset to that law firm, and I am pretty much sure, I have never seen that way. No law firm will say no, we don't want to take you as a further extension as an internship. Go for it. Today also, if you are a first generation lawyer and if you think that you have not done the internship, or you have never you just got into the college and everything, start working in a law firm. Preferably go for a small law firm, mid-tier law firm, then little bit of upper mid-tier law firm, rather than going to the higher law firm. See, going to the higher law firm is not bad, but this is my experience, that going to the low, the little bit middle law firm or middle up tier law firm, is that they will give you all the matters for you to learn. In big law firms, I have seen is that they specify the matters what you want to do. Suppose if you want to do an IPR, they will only give the IPR matters, which is not good at the first stage of your life. No, understand how the law works in every matters. आप थोड़ा समझ लो how it works. See, this is the basic parameter, even if you're a law student or a first generation lawyer. If you're a law student, if you have invested 3 years in internship, go for another 3 years as a lawyer. Because what you have learned as an internship, it is not necessary that आपने पढ़ लिया and now court में वो successful होगा. No. You test yourself that नहीं, now the time has come for me to appear in the court and argue and do everything. So 3 साल तो किधर नहीं गए. As a first generation lawyer, your first has to be decide what you want to do. आप सोच लो आपको क्या करना है. Corporate job करना है, जो भी करना है. Give your first 2 years or 3 years minimum. I am telling you 2 years, but go for a 3 years also. I will prefer that way. That understand how the court works. Be a litigant lawyer. Litigation lawyer is one of the best practice you can do, because trust me, you will really enjoy a lot. आपको ऐसे लगेगा कि यार टाइम पे जजमेंट्स नहीं आता है, कुछ नहीं होता है, सिर्फ डेट्स मिलता है. आई एम नॉट सेइंग वो नहीं होता है, बिकॉज इवन आफ्टर 18 years व्हेन आई गो एंड ऐसे लगता है डेट मिल रहा है, करना क्या है, सो इवन आई गेट डिप्रेस्ड. बट सी, दिस इज द पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ एनी सिस्टम. ऐसा कोई काम नहीं है जहां पे यू विल गेट 100% सक्सेस रेट एवरीवेयर. सो व्हाट यू वांट टू डू, go to the court, understand क्या चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा है, just understand the environment, even if it takes your 2-3 years. I agree that financial is the biggest issue, no doubt about it. Well, it's all about now what we want to do and not to do. Well, I will share. I know one of my friend, what he did was he wanted to practice as a law, but end of the day, his financial issues were there. So see what he did. We did the practice exam. What he did was he was doing a job also, okay, part-time job also, and he was hardly getting a good pay. And he was doing, after doing the law, he started doing internship. He started the internship, and where he was paid hardly 3,000 for 2 years. I'm telling you, for 2 years. By the time his age was around 26, or यहाँ पे 26 बोले तो you have to earn so that you can think of your life. But that 2 years, he worked very hard. He went to each and every court. He understood the suits. He understood what is complaint. He understood how to draft the cases. he understood कि appearance कैसे होता है, he understood how to talk. See, the normally how we talk is not that you have to talk in the court. Talking in a court is totally different. Talking with your friend is different. Talking with your client is different. You need to understand that parameter also. He learned that in that 2 years. He faced a good amount of financial issues. It was there. I have seen him after 2.5 years. And I still remember he got his first individual case where he got the fees of around 25,000. He won that matter. I'm talking about 15 years back. Today, he has his own law firm. Okay. Under him, he has more than 6 working from him. And he is not telling them as their employee, lawyers or junior lawyers. He tells that you are all my colleagues. Today, my friend is doing very well as a lawyer. You know why? He gave his first 2-3 years to learn, to understand what the law is. He never ran after the money. Money will come, I'm telling you, किधर पैसा नहीं गया. थोड़ा आप सबर करोगे पैसा आने वाला. There is nothing as such, पैसा नहीं है. Now, I'm assuming कि आपको इसमें समझाओ, नहीं समझाओ तो please ask me, आपको क्या नहीं समझा. Now, the second question comes is कि हम कौन सा फील्ड पकड़े. IPR, arbitration, or I mean to say litigation में क्या करना है, रेरा करना है, कंज्यूमर करना है, क्या करना है. See, I don't know. See, that's a very different perception. I have heard कि मैं सिर्फ कंज्यूमर में करूंगा, मैं सिर्फ रेरा में करूंगा. You choose your specific field, what you believe that you are good in it. But whatever you do, whether it is an IPR, consumer, RERA, insurance, tribunals, SEBI, SAT, whatever, what you want? Law knowledge, communication skills, and understanding how it works. वो आप कैसे करोगे? You need to have the law practice. ठीक है? Now, suppose you have decided that you need to become a consumer lawyer. So what you will do? Definitely the first thing that you will go to some consumer law firm where you will try to learn कि consumer कैसे होता है, which is not bad. I'm not saying नहीं है, but I'm just understanding a scenario जहाँ पे you are not able to get the internship or a job in a consumer law firm. Then what you will do? Will you change your understanding कि नहीं मैं consumer नहीं करता, मैं रेरा में चले जाता हूँ? Or what you will do? You will go in IPR. I have seen in my office also, or I have seen that whenever someone joins, he joins with the perception कि मुझे ये करना है, like an IPR. So the moment उसको IPR का काम दिया जाता है, and then he sees what others are doing. अरे यार ये मैटर अच्छा है, मैं ये बन जाता हूँ. Now you are not able to make a choice. मुझे करना क्या है, IPR or this thing. See, ये होने वाला है. We are human beings. We tend to make जो चीज हमें दूर लगता है ना, हमें वो चीज ज्यादा पसंद होता है. अगर आपको कंज्यूमर लॉ फर्म में नहीं मिल रहा है एंड यू वांट टू बिकम अ कंज्यूमर लॉयर, ट्रस्ट मी, एज अ लॉयर आप अपना बेस क्लियर कर दो and be update कि कंज्यूमर क्या होता है and try to find out who is a consumer law firm who does the work. अगर मान लीजिए आपका किस्मत इतना खराब है that you are not able to even get a job, then prepare yourself in such a way that your knowledge speaks for you. I have seen in many of the, when I used to appear in consumer district forums, I have seen that many of the lawyers, they were not able to even have a dialogue with the judges. They were not in a position to even talk properly. They were not even in a position to tell the judges how to read judgments. They are not even in a position to draft consumer complaints. Trust me, they are not able to do that. Most of them, what they do is like this. They do copy paste. They don't do judgments. Judgments तो पढ़ना almost बंद कर दिया लोगों ने. What they do is they go to Google, keyword दबा दिया, and something will come. आधा चीज पढ़ लिया and they will do it. Like today, if I am asking you whether all the Supreme Court judgments are binding precedents on district court, I will get the answer yes. Now, by the time I will complete this lecture, I want anyone to tell me whether all judgments are binding or not. Do answer to me if possible. So prepare yourself in such a way that when the time comes or opportunity comes, you don't have to think, "Kash, I am ready with it." Now I am giving a situation जहाँ पे आपको consumer के matters नहीं आ रहे and you are not able to do it. If your basics are clear as a lawyer, you can also practice in RERA. You also practice in insurance. You also practice in court matters. Basics तो clear है. Now, what happens is that if you are very predetermined कि नहीं मुझे family law में ही practice करना है, then what you will do? Read family law. Read the judgments of family law. Basics तो आपका clear होना ही चाहिए. Without you having the basics clear, आप कोई भी field में practice नहीं कर सकते हो. If you are thinking कि नहीं मेरे को बेसिक्स छोड़ दे मैं ये कर लूंगा IPR, trust me, even you can't do that. You know why? See, filing a trademark in the office is easy, but knowing which mark will be accepted or not is not easy. Now this is where there is a difference between a trademark attorney and an agent. Okay. Attorney knows the judgments, they know the outcome of the judgments, and they know which mark will be accepted or not. I'm not denying agent ko pata nahi hoga, but I'm making an assumption is they are not in the habit of reading the judgments. They are not in the habit of knowing the interpretation of one word to other word. If as an attorney you cannot bifurcate, then there is no use of you reading the law. As such, you could have become an agent. If you are an attorney and if your basics are clear and if you are able to understand the judgments, then only you can become a good IPR filer. I'm telling you. Now, even after doing this IPR ka filing and everything, objections will come, oppositions will come. Opposition itself is the court. So again, you come back to the court system. Just imagine giving your 3 years at the start will make your future very clear. So whatever you are doing right now, I am not sure. Please give your first 2 3 years as a litigant lawyer. And I am assured if today at least 50% will do that, trust me, that 50% will choose litigant lawyer. You know why? पैसा आने वाला है, no आएगा, but prepare yourself in such a way that you prove you are worth of that money. I have seen that clients will never deny the payment to you if you are capable of. If not, nobody will pay you. Then you play the game of 2000 and 3000 and do the time pass. That's your personal choice. Now, after you prove your niche कि मुझे क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, I still understand the most of the issues come कि हम अपना business कैसे बढ़ाएं, right? Now, most of the issues are how to bring the clientele, because there is no doubt that there are systems in the market, where someone will not allow the client to come to your office or your place. So there are two ways of thinking it. One, you yourself become that system, but for that you need to change your attitude and everything. Second, you don't have to do any such thing. What you need to do is be presentable, be communicable, be in touch with everything what is going in the market in a very pure form. Pure form. Increase your network. How you will increase your network? How? If you feel you can give the lectures, give it. If you feel no, if you feel there are some what you call nowadays you can say was professional meetings are going on, attend that. If you feel that you can be a part of bar committee and do something, do that. Try to increase your network and connections. Now, both are different. Your mobile today might having more than 1,000 numbers. But I can assure you, if today you feel that 1,000 will come for your help or they will become your client, all 1,000 you are wrong. The number I will give you is around 15. Out of 1,000, 15 will become your client. So this is the ratio which I have seen, that even if you have 10,000 in your mobile, hardly 15 or 10,000 बोला है तो 150 तो आना ही नहीं है. Take 15 will become your client. Now, how to increase your network and connection is all about, you need, see, the biggest way to improve your connection is when you go to the court and when you present yourself before the judge, before the court, you present yourself in such a manner that people will observe you. The day you do this, that becomes your prima facie biggest connecting point. Because what they want someone who are very good in communication. Okay. The moment I say communication, it doesn't mean that you should be good in English, by the way. This is a very bad perception I have seen कि जिसको English आता है वही अच्छा lawyer है. Nah, I'm sorry to say that. Wherever you are there, if you are in South, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Indore, it depends local court में कौन सा language चलता है. High courts में English ही चलता है, I'm saying that, but बहुत सारे high courts में I have seen Hindi also goes on, like MP and Rajasthan. The point is that the moment I say communicable, it means you should be able to communicate clearly, very presentable, no confusion and everything. एक बार आपका ये चक्कर क्लियर हो गया ना, you can argue 1 घंटे का argument even in 15 minutes because you are clear what you want to say. So, if you are able to present yourself within a limited time, this is the biggest connecting point. And no, I'm telling you, you do this. You do this at least for 6 months in a court regularly. You just see how your business grows. And I'm telling you, this is my personal experience. You do this. Because if you become 1 out of 10 or 15 in that particular time when you are appearing amongst many lawyers, this is what your pitching point has to be. Now, how to increase your network? You can make many friends, but ho sake to keeps an arm's length. Because I have seen that many of them, when you become friends, you do forget about the arm's length. There has to be a professional arm's length, then you do the network and connections. Don't rely, don't try to become over smart. Don't try to give the loophole in such a way that it harms you also. Be very clear to your client, this is what the law is, this is what we can do, and this is what is you can do provided you feel so. Be very clear, be communicative in all your emails. Avoid WhatsApp talks. Okay, avoid WhatsApp chats with your clients. If possible, put everything on email. See, ये सब चीजें हैं ना, it will only increase your business in a very good way, because end of the day, what matter is the way you present yourself before anything. Increase your network, increase your connection. Okay, there is also something I have heard कि हमारे पास resources नहीं है. Nowadays, so there are many things. अगर आपका connections अच्छा है, आपका पास networking अच्छा है, trust me, आपका resources भी हो जाएगा. Let me share one. Okay, I will share about myself. I don't want to go to someone else. So when I started my practice almost 18 years back, I still remember that I used to go to Bandra Court. On the same day, I used to go to Vasai Court, sometime Borivali Court. And by the time it was around 12:30 in the night, I used to come to my house. And the moment I used to come to my house, definitely I used to get the big guys of my mummy papa कि यही बचा है करने को, बिजनेस है कर लो. आई मीन टू से प्रॉब्लम क्या है इतना दूर. एंड आई सेड करने दो ना, आई विल सी क्या करना है, लेट गिव मी सम टाइम. सो दिस कंटिन्यूड फॉर एटलीस्ट मोर देन 2.5 3 years. So by the time by the time I got into that particular field for 3 years, I thought, okay, let's start something afresh, because by the time it was already 3 years, and for me again to run from A, B, C, D, it was very hectic. It was just too hectic. Because I used to leave by 8:30 to reach court by 10:15, and then to go to various places and to get the certified copies. I used to do alone and alone. So it just happened that in 3 years, everything worked in my favor. Like I got to know many of them in courts. I got to know how it works. I got to know कि समन्स कैसे निकाला जाता है, सर्टिफाइड कॉपीज क्या होता है, ये सब 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 everything. See, certified summons I got to know when I was doing my internship. But as I said, doing internship is a different thing. When you practice as a lawyer is a different thing. I got to know everything. After that 3 years till date, I'm in a very happiness zone. I'm very in a happiness zone, because now I'm in a position where I can send at least 8 lawyers in a different courts at the same time. You know why? Because I prepared myself in such a way that my future becomes safe. This is what I have done, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. Give your time as of now. You might face some difficulties, और अच्छी बात है आप difficulties face कर लो. कभी कभी आपको ज्यादा आसानी से आ जाता है that you don't value those things. It is not, I'm not saying for everyone, but I'm just telling, struggle for some time, but that struggle has to be an asset to you. It should not happen कि 3 साल के बाद भी you are in the same line. I'll tell you, I've seen many lawyers, without, I'm not saying anything against them, but I have seen that after doing the law, most of the lawyers, what they do go in the court. So their daily routine, I'll tell you, this is what I have seen. When to some of them, they will reach by around 11:15. Then they will dress up in such a way that they are about to get married. Then they will appear they will carry the diary. They will walk in the court for at least 1 or 2 hours, not doing anything. Okay, not doing anything. Suppose if there is 10 friends, one have a matter, everyone will go with them and they will try to find out kya chal raha hai nature, which is a good thing. Okay. Then they will come, they will have chai and coffee and they will do masti and everything. By the time it is around 2, lunch time ho jata hai. So by the time it comes to 3:30, they will start the same routine again. By the time it is 5:30, the district courts come down and they waste their time. So when I ask myself what I did that particular day, I don't have anything to say. So instead of doing that, if you feel you don't have any work, read judgments. Who is stopping you? Reading, okay, I'm telling you, just read 20 landmark judgments of section 138. And I am assuring you, I am assuring myself that any matter which comes after you reading the judgments of top 20 landmark which has come in this 2-3 years, there will be no case wherein you cannot appear and argue them. And reading one judgment, even if you are a very bad reader, I know nobody is a bad reader, but I'm just giving an assumption. Then also you will complete reading the judgment within 3 days. So 20 into 3, 60 दिन हो गया. I'm taking an average 60 दिन. Complete in 45 days to 50 days. In such a way, prepare your own notes. And I am giving an assurance for you that by the time you complete your 20 notes, you will realize what mistake you did in your earlier matters. And now you are ready to face the challenges even before the court. Do that. Just do that. And this is not applicable to only first generation lawyer. It is applicable to everyone. Just everyone. Now, this is one of the issues which came to me, how to find a mentorship. Well, I agree that, I always believe that it is a duty of the colleges to do that, because I don't know why. Because even when I did my law, nobody told us how to choose the mentorship, what is mentor, whether you require mentoring or not. हमने क्या किया? We went to the college, we did our पढ़ाई वढ़ाई करके, and we cleared our law and we are in the new world. Now what to do? Karna kya? Now this is where I always felt कि as a college they have to help you. Some of the colleges they do, but those college which they do, they charge 8 lakhs एक साल का, which has no logic I need to say. But ठीक, they do it their own business. But this is the problem definitely. I will not say I faced, touch wood, because somehow I was in a position to know कि मुझे करना क्या है. But if this is the situation you are facing, then how to find a mentorship? I will only say that try to find out which is the nearest law firm to you, what you are doing. Okay. Or if you go to the court, and if you are regular to the court, try to find out someone you feel you are comfortable with, who is your senior or who has a good practice. Try to find out how you can learn from them. Now, why internship comes into picture. In internship, you can find your mentor on your own choice. Suppose if you are not able to get even internship, or you are in a position where you don't know कि mentor कहाँ से मिले. We are in the social world now. Everything is available online. Gather the knowledge. Okay. Just an example. I'm just giving an example. Suppose if I'm sitting here, okay, and if you really feel कि नहीं, this man can be a mentor, and I'm not giving you my contact number and everything, and I'm just stopping. Can you not find out about me in the internet or something? Try to find out. Send an email saying that ऐसे ऐसे था, I wanted to know इसका क्या करना है इनका. Now there are two ways. I'll reply or not reply. If I reply, well and good. If I don't reply, don't get depressed कि यार इन्होंने भी reply नहीं किया, the same man. Don't judge anyone by anything. If you don't do that, just understand कि maybe he is not the better person for you as a mentor. Find out someone else. Just find out from your network, from your connections. ऐसा कौन है जिसके connections नहीं है? I mean to say, without connections, nobody could have done any business. If you are in the college, go and ask your principal कि आपका कोई reference दे दो. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go and meet him. Just try to meet any seniors. If they are able to give at least 10 minutes, sit with them. You will get a good person, and then you can find out a good mentor. But yes, mentorship is good. Try to find out. If not, maybe then I have to say something about PLEA. Today, if the PLEA there's an organization, I was just seeing their video where they saw that they have 5,000 students. They have given around more than 680 seminars. So my calculation is like this. 680 seminars means 680 lawyers speaking for you. I'm surprised if today there are total attendances 56. If today 56 tells me we are not able to get the mentor, then I will say go to PLEA and tell them we request that we want someone who can mentor us. And I'm pretty sure PLEA will do that. And maybe after my lecture, if PLEA can tell me कि we are ready to help it out, go for it. You will find mentorship. कितना भी आप कर लो, do whatever you want. You become a mentorship. You don't want a mentorship. Whether you do intern or not, it's all about individual. Prepare yourself, read more judgments, understand what is going in the market. Don't be very critical of everything. Just read. आप जितना पढ़ता है एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया करो. Don't try to become a critical person कि ये सही और ये गलत है, because you know why? As the lawyer you cannot do that. हमारा काम ही वही है, जो केस आता है we need to find out how we can help our client in a way that he is not in a very bad position. It can be either win or a mediation or a negotiation or closing, amicable settlement, arbitration, everything and anything. Now this I spoke about someone who want to practice. Now suppose what if someone wants to do the job, what they will do, right? 3 साल का practice is very good. 3 साल का practice, so I am telling you, please do it. For God's sake, हो सके तो even if you're getting a salary of around 40,000, see, financially I know if someone really is in financial issues and if they is able to get 30,000 in a company, I'm not the right person to say कि आप मत करो, because end of the day money counts. So I'm taking a scenario when someone has a financial issues, he is getting a job after doing the law and his package is around 20,000 also, 25,000. Job, join kar lo, do. But at least in that period also, you can be part of your own investment in reading the judgments and everything. Nowadays what the companies have started, just because arbitration has come. If you as an employee, as a lawyer in a company, is aware how arbitration works, what are the judgments. So what the company does is, like they have any legal matters, so they appoint a law firm. Even they appoint their own counsels. Even they brief it. Just imagine you are working for a company and you are a lawyer and you have read arbitrations, the judgments to a very good level. You have understood what is Indian Contract Act, and there is a matter which has come up. You are a junior now. Just imagine if you read everything, you have got a confidence. So when the matter comes to you, definitely if you're a junior, your senior will take care. But even he will give to read you. They cannot say no, right? What if you are able to contribute to that matter? एक बार आपका contribution start हो गया ना, this is the success stone you will get in the corporate also. If you think कि कौन पढ़ता है छोड़ देना routine काम करना है, no, even nowadays companies they don't prefer such lawyers. What they want from the lawyer who is working, they want contribution from लीगल एस्पेक्ट ना। अगर आपने ज्वाइन कर लिया कोई कंपनी में, आप एमआईएस करते हो, ये आप अग्रीमेंट बनाते हो, आपको पता है अग्रीमेंट का एक क्लॉज होता है फोर्स मेजोरे। इवन टू ड्राफ्ट अ फोर्स मेजोरे क्लॉज यू नीड माइंड, कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं करना है आपको। तो जस्ट इमेजिन दैट इवन इफ यू डू अ जॉब इवन आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग द लॉ एंड यू फील कि नहीं मुझे जॉब ही करना है, आई वांट टू डू अ जॉब वेयर आई एम गेटिंग अ सैलरी ऑफ 50,000 which will be an increment of 10% every year based on the company's performance and my own performance. It is not bad, that's your personal choice. End of the day individual has to be happy what they are doing. But आप कुछ भी करोगे, at least you be updated of what is going in the market from the legal aspect. Read laws, understand what is the new judgment which has come, prepare your own notes. अभी आप नोट्स कैसे बनाओगे, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट। मान लीजिए आपके पास 8 जजमेंट्स आ रहा है एंड यू फील कि ये 2 जजमेंट मेरे काम का है, सेव दैट जजमेंट इन योर फोल्डर और फोल्डर को नाम दो रेलेवेंट जजमेंट्स। और ऐसे जजमेंट्स जो आपको लगता है आपके काम का नहीं है, इधर अवॉइड इट, योर चॉइस। अगर आपको फिर भी यूज करना है तो आप उसमें लिख दो नॉट रेड जजमेंट्स, कीप इट। यू नो व्हाई? बाय द टाइम जब आप ऐसे करते रहोगे इट विल बी अराउंड 200 300, और आप जब हर जजमेंट को लाइन देखते रहोगे ना, हेडलाइन, and suppose if you come across some, and I'm assuming you are reading a judgment, if you come across any matter or any such cases or anything, your mind will take you back to that particular 2 folders. One relevant judgment which you have read, another not read. So what you will do, you will go to that read judgment relevant and you will find out. Then you will say yaar isme nahi hai, now what? Then you will search the not read relevant judgments or not read judgments. Do that. Prepare your own notes. That's it. अगर आप कॉर्पोरेट भी करो तो ये भी करो, इवन इफ यू आर डूइंग इंटर्नशिप। ओके, नाउ दिस इज वन ऑफ द बेसिक आई गॉट टू नो फ्रॉम द इंटर्न्स व्हेन आई वाज गिविंग वन लेक्चर। दे सेड कि सर हमारे सीनियर तो हमको सिर्फ जेरोक्स करवाते हैं, कॉफी बुलाते हैं, हमसे सिर्फ प्रिंटिंग करवाते हैं, फाइल्स उठवाते हैं और लेकर जाने को। वेल, एक चीज है, ये हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, आई डोंट वांट टू कमेंट। व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, एज एन इंडिविजुअल अगर ये कर रहे हैं तो करो आप, बट who is stopping you from reading? क्या ऐसा कोई सीनियर मिला आपको जिन्होंने आपको ये बोला नहीं तू सिर्फ यही काम करेगा, पढ़ेगा नहीं? आई हैव तो नेवर सीन इन माय लाइफ, कोई नहीं बोलता। जस्ट इमेजिन ये करने के बाद भी इफ यू आर गिविंग योर सफिशिएंट 8 घंटे का टाइम में आप पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, इवन इन अ मंथ whoever is your senior, they will appreciate you because when you are not a name fame man, prove your worth. So when you became a name fame man, don't dilute your worth. This is what the whole, in any entrepreneurship is like this. So आप कोई भी इंटर्न करते हो, even if you feel you're not gaining knowledge, you gain the knowledge from yourself because you taking a decision कि ये सही और ये गलत है, वो मत करना। You have not crossed that particular time. Yes, that doesn't mean कि वहाँ पे कुछ nonsense होता हो तो you be a part of it. Okay, what I'm saying is a pure ethical which is going on. Now, see, definitely आपको जो चॉइस है आप वो करो, आप करते रहो। द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम विच इवन आई हैव सीन इज दैट कि मेरा क्या। सपोज इफ यू आर वर्किंग इन अ लॉ फर्म एज एन इंटर्न, तो ठीक है आपने 3 साल या आपने 5 साल भी दे दिया वो लॉ फर्म में, क्वेश्चन ये आने वाला है मेरा क्या। नाउ एवरीबॉडी nowadays I have seen that everybody is intensifying कि मेरे को खुद का मेरा लॉ फर्म बनाना है। नॉट बैड, बनाइए आप, बट टेक अ पॉज and find out what is the current prevailing practices going in the market. You can't cross that path and fly unless and until you have that flying jet machine. नहीं कर सकते ना आप। Try to find, because you being alone in the market and doing something which is against is not bad, but you need to take care of everything. घर का भी देखना है, एम्प्लॉयज का देखना है, आपका खुद का देखना है। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप दिन में 24 घंटा काम कर रहे हो and by the time you try to earn, you die. There is no purpose of you working for 15 hours, not giving any time to a family. कोई फायदा नहीं। End of the day, आप कितना भी काम कर लोगे, ठीक है ना? If your health is not good, you cannot do anything. So bifurcate your time in such a manner that you are reading also 8 घंटे का जो काम है ना, do it very effectively. So as a lawyer, since we are a working lawyer, starting lawyer, 8 घंटे की जगह 12 घंटा ले लो, but work it in a way कि ये 12 घंटा दिन का यूज हो. I am assuring you, myself, even for you, I am assuring आप ये कर लो. After the completion of 3 months, you will be a super lawyer. That's it. And then you decide what you want to do. Now, anyone has any query. The reason I'm stopping myself here because anyone has any query, you ask me, let me answer to you. Okay, before that, I will just एक पॉइंट ऐसा है जहाँ पे बॉज ने ये कहा था कि फैमिली लॉ में प्रैक्टिस करना अच्छा है कि आईपीआर में अच्छा है. कोई बुरा नहीं है, ठीक है, कोई बुरा नहीं है. It all depends how you justified yourself in that particular field. You can be also a good lawyer in family law and IPR law एक साथ. It's all about how you do that. Now how you'll do that? जैसे मैंने अभी आपको कहा था, please invest your time in reading worthful thing. नहीं तो आप बोलोगे सर मैं इंस्टाग्राम देख रहा था, रोज का 2 घंटा देखता हूँ. Please for God's sake, don't even give any reliance to Instagram post unless it is an official given by the government or the Supreme Court. Please don't rely, because I have seen that many of the lawyers, they go to Insta and then they say कि bail कैसे मिलेगा, वैसे मिलेगा, तैसे मिलेगा. So I'm not saying they are wrong, but for me it's not a reliable source. Reliable source is judgment, are the court practices which is going on. So इन चीजों से थोड़ा बाहर आ जाओ. Whatever you are investing your time in such, आप करो, that's your personal choice. But that is not called as an investment in legal education. Investment is only reading judgments and law. That's it.
So meanwhile, there's one question. What is the value of diploma courses?
Okay, whether you do degree or diploma, definitely there is a value given by the law. So from that perspective, I'm telling that diploma definitely it is just being given to add your knowledge. If you ask me in the market, it has no value. It has no value. If you see even degree and if you only take the degree without knowing the law, it has no value. Because at the end of the day, when you complete your degree also and when you go for an interview, and if you are not able to even answer what the law is, whatever you have read, ऐसे इसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं. बट यस डिप्लोमा एज सच उसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. बट ऐसा नहीं है कि उसका वैल्यू है ही नहीं. ऑलराइट, लाइक जैसे कि व्हेन आई डिड माय डिप्लोमा इन दिस ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट, आई नेवर वांटेड दिस टू बी एनी वैल्यू. आई जस्ट वांटेड टू नो कि ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट मार्केट में पढ़ाया क्या जाता है. सो व्हेन आई रेड इट, आई फाउंड इट ठीक है यार, ये तो वही है जो मैं पढ़ चुका हूँ. बट ठीक है, आई डिड इट फॉर माय नॉलेज. सो बाय दैट, सपोज इफ आई गो एनीवेयर, आई कैन नॉट से कि मैंने डिप्लोमा ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट किया. इट हैज नो वैल्यू एज सच, बिकॉज़ मेरे साथ डिप्लोमा ही किया है ना. आजकल तो डिस्टेंस लर्निंग होता है. So value, it depends on how you were able to extract that information by you. Like when I did my brand management, जितना मुझे समझ आता मैं समझ गया. From my perspective, okay, this is the way market works. That's it. For me, it is valuable. I don't know who takes it as a valuable. It depends.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is
Hello.
Balchandra. I have two questions for you, sir.
Please.
One is related to the practice you said about going to the court and joining the firm, so that we can understand how they do the practice, right? If someone wants to practice the IPR or IP law, how should we, because we have the separate courts for the family courts or the criminal courts, right? But we don't have a special court for the IP law. Then how should we hear about the judgments on our IP judgments? And how should we one start with the IP practice? First thing is, and second thing is more of a choosing the field. You said like what interests you better is, but if someone wants to start in the taxation related or the finance related law cases, right? How one should get into involved into that, and what are the skill set is required to go or enter into the taxation related cases or the finance cases? Because being a lawyer, we are being taught about all these fields, but never about the finance or the taxation.
Okay.
So
that's what okay, I'll reply. First, to IPR ka definitely there is a code. How IPR works is that when you file any IPR applications, they have their own offices. There is an objection forum which comes from the office, and there is an opposition tribunal also. So what has happened is that a year back or so, the appellate tribunal which was there in Chennai, it was repealed and high courts have given the power. So IPR has their own courts also. Even like in Bombay, the high courts have their own branch of who takes care of IPR. Same way as everywhere. Now, how to start an IPR is like this. See, IPR is not something very difficult thing. Nothing is difficult by the way. Now, suppose, okay, your question is like how to start. Again, I am saying you, अगर आपका 2 साल 2.5 साल का practice, court समझ लो आप, because everywhere the court running system is same. It's all about now what petition to be filed, what to be written in that. This is what we need to understand. So when your basic understanding of code gets into concrete shape and you are able to understand IPR. Like if you go to IPR website, अगर आप ip.government.in में जाओगे, ipindia.gov.in, आप वहाँ पे पब्लिक सर्च कर लो. अभी आप पब्लिक सर्च कैसे करोगे? दे हैव देयर ओन वीडियो ट्यूटोरियल. आप ऑनलाइन से भी सीख सकते हो. बट नाउ द क्वेश्चन कम्स कि मैं ऑनलाइन से सीख जाऊंगा बट मुझे कोड में प्रैक्टिस करना. दिस इज व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड फॉर व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू. नाउ दिस इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू. आई एम टेकिंग अ सिनेरियो जहां पे आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आपको करना क्या, बट यू वांट टू प्रैक्टिस इन आईपीआर. फर्स्ट, मेक योरसेल्फ एन एज एन एसेट टू एन आईपीआर. लाइक व्हाट इज आईपीआर, ट्रेडमार्क कैसे काम करता है, व्हाट इज सेक्शन 9 एंड व्हाट इज सेक्शन 10, हाउ डज सेक्शन 11 ओवरऑल सेक्शन 12, वेदर सेक्शन 12 हैज अ पावर, हाउ इट वर्क्स आउट. वो आप समझ लो. लॉ तो आपके पास ही पड़ा है, रीड जजमेंट्स एंड एवरीथिंग. आपको कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है. आई एम टेकिंग अ सिनेरियो दैट यू ट्राइड एवरीथिंग, then definitely you need some help. Now, how you will help it out? If you have got a connection, meet some councils, meet some law firms ke lawyers and speak to them ki I am planning to practice, you can guide me. I have never seen any senior saying ki I will not guide you. They will guide you. End of the day, थोड़ा पापड़ तो आपको बेलना ही पड़ेगा. Now, if you really feel that you want to make a face of your own in an IPR, then you start, आज की तारीख में अगर आप देखोगे तो you start writing book on it, or you start giving lectures, and you convey to your colleagues and friends that I have started doing an IPR and this is what my success ratio is. See, IPR is a very technical field. Now the clients coming to you will come with an assurance that they will, because one IPR mark decides the company's closing of the business or working of a business. I am taking a scenario where you are not able to find anything. Then in such a scenario you need a mentorship. I am pretty much sure PLEA is there. कोई भी नहीं आएगा, then I am there. You speak to me, I'll help you out. Trust me. But this is the way you can do that. You can have your own practice also. IPR, trust me, is a very good subject, provided you read judgments. Because IPR mein, I have never seen a settled law. Every law changes whenever the need arises as per the market. As per the market. And it is very good. Now coming to the taxation aspect. Taxation is a very technical field. आपने law degree हम ले लेते हैं, but see, we read the law from the law aspect. Taxation comes from a CA background. अगर आपको लॉ में भी प्रैक्टिस करना है, एज अ टैक्सेशन फील्ड में आप करना है, आप now again it depends आपको प्रैक्टिस क्या करना है. आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट यू वांट टू प्रैक्टिस इन अ कोड फॉर अ टैक्सेशन फील्ड. आई विल प्रीफर अगेन गिव योर 2 years एज अ कोड प्रैक्टिस. नाउ यू कैन जॉइन अ लॉ फर्म जो टैक्सेशन प्रैक्टिस करता हो. अगर मिल नहीं रहा है, गिव योर 2 years. If possible, do some diploma in accounting. Try to find out how accounting works, ये सब taxation aspect. And you are able to get the link of it. Speak to your colleagues who are a CA and everything, and tell them you give me the सबसे weak matter. Just try to find out how taxation works. Now see, this is the best way you can do that, because I have handled 2 taxation matters almost 16 years back. Because when I was doing my CA, I did that. मुझे बोर लगा, ऐसे लगा माथापच्ची बहुत खराब हो रहा है, so I stopped it myself. So you can do that way also. End of the day, your connection works, your references works, how you tackle the matter. But this is my personal request that whatever you do, even if you do taxation, you should be aware of the latest what is happening in the taxation market, how GST works, how CA works, how MSME में GST deductions work, how it can be deducted in a manner that GST लग रहा है नहीं लग रहा है. If your aspect is clear, trust me, there are CA firms who are trying to get a lawyer who can do their work. I have seen that taxation lawyers are very less, because most of them, they are not aware how it works. They only know the law. If you are able to do that, you have a very good chance in succeeding in taxation law practice.
Thank you, sir.
So in the chat box, a participant is asking how long pro bono, how much pro bono.
What exactly they want to know, and from what aspect जो भी रहेगा.
So I guess when we start our practice, so to prove ourselves, maybe for how long should we provide free services, and to what extent not charge the client or give discounted services.
Okay, see, ऐसा है, it depends again how it works out, but ऐसा होता है, pro bono आप करो, but find out किसके लिए कर रहे हो आप, right? Don't do the pro bono for everyone. Do for someone whom you feel he is a relevant person जिसके लिए pro bono काम आएगा. Again, I am coming back to the same thing, and I can share one good fact about this, because this has happened with me as well. I was just having one matter and I did it for free, because I was told by someone that this girl, she is not able to give any money, and she had filed some maintenance case through some other lawyer, but that lawyer was not able to do the work properly, and some order was awaited, but it was not coming, and I was told कि आप free करो. And I think I completed my 9 years of practice at that particular time. So I was saying करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, but then we as an office team we decided that we'll do it. So when we did that particular case, we did free. We have not even charged a single rupee out of it. So by the time I think we argued on the maintenance application, that particular argument went for around 3 days for 1 hour. I mean to say, so 3 hours continuously. So by the time we completed our argument, we did our research very clearly, even though we did it for free, but we did our research very clearly. So by the time I completed that matter argument, order was about to come, and the court has said you come after 4-5 days. So I still remember that when we came on that particular day for that order, we got 3 matters from the court itself, and from whom? From the opposite party lawyer. So I can only share you that. So it's not about pro bono कब तक करना है कैसे करना है. Even if you have 3 matters and if you feel मुझे करना है, do it in such a way that gives you the shape to get more matters from someone else who knows कि this boss he can argue well. So it's totally upon you when to do, not to do. But इतना भी free मत करो that you die. But do it in such a way that it gives something to you and also to the society.
Okay.
Hello, sir. My name is Kalpesh.
Yes, Kalpesh ji, बोलिए.
I was giving my SEM 6 exams, and my only exam pending is banking due to the elections. Okay, so what my query is that I saw 62-year-old or 60-year-old people giving exams. So my query is that such people or even if 45-year-old people clearing their law exams, how do they work out during their practice, or if they do professionally going ahead with do the seniors entertain such people being an internship, or they help them out?
हम इसको ऐसे नजरिए से देखते हैं. There are 2 ways or more than 2 ways to live. One, हमें नहीं पता वो law क्यों कर रहे हैं. First of all, we are not sure why they do the law. I'll tell you why. I have seen such people. One, I got such people many times. One, when I asked him, he said मैं law इसके लिए कर रहा हूँ because I'm about to get promoted. So by doing this law, I will be getting promoted, upgrade second version automatically. So एक aspect वो law होता है. दूसरा, that they have done everything in their life by the age of 58 and they have completed now what to do, and they have a good skills of learning, so they do the law. And now, trust me, even the good law firms, they prefer such people because they are coming with an experience in that particular expertise field. Like suppose he's a government job person and okay, I'm just giving an example. Suppose this person was working as an assistant registrar in IP office for more than 20 years. Okay. Now he's about to retire and he's doing his law. Just imagine this person has the knowledge of IPR for 20 years. He used to pass applications, raise an objection, get an objection approved and everything. So by the time he completes the law, he will become more asset rather than an upcoming fresher.
Right.
So वहाँ पे they will benefit. Now the question comes whether they get more success than a person who is young. Again, it totally depends. Now, suppose if he's a lawyer he is doing the job for 20 years. Doing the job for 20 years doesn't give automatic impression that he knows the law. Now, what he knows is the procedure.
Right.
A lawyer can be a procedural lawyer also or a lawyer. Now, what I'm trying to say, पहला 3 साल become a procedural lawyer, but understand what the law is. And how you will understand the law? By reading judgments, by knowing how the court understands how the market behaves. So there is an open window for everyone. If that young man who is giving the exam, if his, he has the ability to read the judgments, he can also surpass that man who is giving at the age of 62. But we don't get into this competition part. What I will do as a smart lawyer, I will meet him. I will sit with him for a coffee and a CCD. I will pay the bill of 1200 and I will say, sir, let's start a law firm. You become the face value. I will do the court practice. And Kalpesh, you are the master in it. Do it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, a participant is asking, can you repeat the number of landmark judgment that you mentioned in your lecture?
20. आप 20 मत पढ़ो, आप 8 ही पढ़ लो पिछले 2 साल में हुआ है. Because कैसे होता है, any landmark judgment, if it is coming with another landmark judgment, they have a reference to that judgment. So even if you read the 4-5 judgments and there's a reference to the landmark judgments, Just read, but I will prefer you read at least 15 judgments because that covers total law, total law. So rather than you finding, you reading, 30-40 judgments on that particular thing, read the landmark judgments and you will get all the aspects, how you need to tackle. That time I spoke about 138, but everything, whatever you feel so.
Okay. And so, any tips for networking?
I said networking के लिए बहुत options है. Like आप जिधर भी जाते हो, court is the biggest networking for a lawyer. Be presentable. Just improve your communicable skill. I'm just going to the very low part. If you really think that dress doesn't matter, it matters. But if you try to become over dressing, avoid it. Avoid it. Be presentable. Trust me, ये छोटा छोटा चीज है. But end of the day, as a lawyer, now if you are able to speak very clearly, if your law is very clear, like your aspect of the law is very clear, that is the biggest networking you will get. I have seen in my this 16 year of life how one of my friend was able to crack getting at least 6 to 7 matters from senior counsel because the way he used to argue in the courts. So even that became a networking. There are many professional networking nowadays going on. I don't want to name it because I cannot do that. But there are many. Go and visit, meet people. There are many seminars going around, meet people. If possible, have your own card. If you want to practice as an individual, have your own card. Give it to them. Talk sense rather than talking nonsense. Have arm's length. Don't try to make friends. Just be a networking person. Okay? Meet them, speak to them, grow your connections. आप LinkedIn में चले जाओ, grow your connections. I'm not saying LinkedIn will bring you business, but what it will do, it will make your name visible in a LinkedIn, okay? And there are many aspects you can do. हो जाता है. It's just a matter of time. Keep patience, everything will come.
Yeah, I had a question. My question is, what challenges and risk factors can I expect and consider taking up a niche practice after having a practice of 8 years running in all kinds of cases at a chamber with a senior?
Okay.
What would be the challenges and risk factors to expect?
Okay. Now, suppose today is 18th May 24, and today, if you're deciding that I want to start, then the risk and the challenges are, first of all, that you need to create your individual brand in the market. Because for the last 8 years, you have been working under them. So many of them, they know that you are working from him. So definitely, the biggest challenge will be that you having your own office or card and meeting the clients. I'm pretty much sure that any clients coming to you directly who have been working for your counsel, it will be an ethical part that you tell him that I'll speak to the counsel first. If he allows me, then I'll take your matter. That becomes more ethical way of working. I'll prefer that way also. Now, challenges are like this, that it is not that you have worked for 8 years and then you are expecting that things will come very fast. No, it is not like this, because then you become a second person to your senior, because end of the day, we all are friends, everything is said and done. But the moment you try, you open your own offices, I will see you as my second party, competitor. Okay, fair enough. Then there's a healthy competition. The challenges is like that you need to create your own brand. You need to be more visible now in the bar rooms. You need to inform that I have started my own practice. Whatever connections you had in your 8 years, you need to update them that I have started my own in such a manner that it doesn't harm your relation with your senior. Speak to your senior saying that I have started my practice. If possible, matters can be given to me. I am ready to handle it. If you have a good relations with them, nobody will say no. If you are a good lawyer in terms you are arguing the matter, nobody will say no. These are the challenges which can be made into benefits. Risk बोले तो definitely आप अपने आप को 1-1.5 साल दीजिए. Try to find out how things works out, because definitely I'm assuming since you have worked for 8 years that utna to you have earned that you can have a backup or at least for 1.5 years and 2 years. I'm saying 2 years is a very long period. Because 8 साल का practice है, 2 साल बहुत बड़ा period है. Everything will work out in 1 year, 5 months. But give 2 years. If you feel after in these 2 years things are not working it out, okay, chances are very less by the way. If so, then definitely you have your backup plan, no doubt. But if today is the date 18th May 24 and you are planning to live in 2 years, start creating your own brand from today. Okay, I'm not saying you tell everyone that I have started my own firm, but at least start giving an impression that I have now become capable enough to take care of your own matter in a way that I'm able to guide even the counsels. Your challenges and the risk will be very minimal, because by the time you leave, we have already had an organized and a very rock solid foundation for you to come in the market. And there are many examples by the way. I cannot name it, but there are many who have done that. and they have been successful.
The participant is asking, they are 36 years old, have a son, but the participant has not yet done any internship. So how can they start?
आप ले लीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो आई एम अज्यूमिंग दैट जिनका क्वेरी आया था ही जस्ट क्लियर द लॉ और नॉट, दैट्स ओके, सिंस यू हैव क्लियर्ड योर लॉ, आप कोई भी फर्म ज्वाइन कर लीजिए एज एन इंटर्न सेइंग दैट कि मुझे सीखना है, गिव इट 1 year. If financial is an issue, okay, if that is so, 6 महीना इंटर्न कर लीजिए, join a corporate job. Again, I had said you make yourself in such a way that you are in a position to argue with anyone. 36 कोई बहुत बड़ा एज नहीं है, it's a very small age. I'm telling you, आपके पास नाना करके भी 4 साल पड़ा है to enter into 40 तक तो you can become a counsel. Nowadays I'm seeing the counsel जिसे 3 साल का प्रैक्टिस किया है. So just आप अपने आप को इन्वेस्ट कर दीजिए लीगल एजुकेशन में, इंटर्नशिप मिल ही जाएगा आपको, नो डाउट. नो, देयर इज नो लॉ फर्म आई हैव एवर हर्ड कि आप 36 साल के हो, मैं नहीं लूंगा. आई हैव नेवर हर्ड, नोबडी, नो, कर लीजिए, हो जाएगा.
Okay, sir. And sir, last question. Does the first generation lawyer need to be more patient and do more hard work as compared to their comrades who have a family background in law?
ओके, कि ऐसा तो है ना, जिसका ऑलरेडी सेटल्ड है, दे डोंट हैव टू इन्वेस्ट इन फाइनेंशियल पार्ट एंड एवरीथिंग, दे हैव द कनेक्शन, सो डेफिनेटली उनको एक बेनिफिट मिल जाता है. बट दिस, ये जो ऊपर का भेजा है ना, दिस डजंट कम विद अ प्री डिफाइंड नोशंस. ओके, सो वो भले ही फैमिली का बिजनेस होगा, बट इवन ही हैज टू यूज हिज माइंड. Even a fresher has to use his mind. The only difference will be the difficulty to be done by the first lawyer rather than a second one. No doubt, जो first generation lawyer है, they have to work. See, first generation lawyer को ऐसा नहीं है कि हर कोई financial issues में बैठा हुआ है. But I have seen जो first generation lawyer होते हैं ना, they are more capable of being more successful because एक intent होता है that I need to do something. Okay, I'm not saying उनकी इच्छा नहीं होती है, उनका तो already बचपन वहीं से निकल रहा है. Like they have seen many doing law and everything. उनके challenges कम होंगे. But trust me, कभी कभी I can't name one counsel. I can just share that I have seen someone जिसके father has been a very big name, but he himself is not able to justify that big name. So that is working against him. At least वो तो आपके ऊपर नहीं है challenge. So whatever you do becomes an asset to you, and whatever he does is a liability because अरे ये तो वो अच्छा कर लेता, तूने क्या किया. So it's all about how you think of. और माय रिक्वेस्ट, इन चीजों को आप छोड़ दो, यू डू योर वर्क. हो सकता है दे विल कम विद द मैटर्स टू यू ओनली.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर. आपके इतने बिजी स्केड्यूल के बावजूद आपने ये सेशन किया आज. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू.